It's funny. It's funny that battles like these really push my potential as a trainer to my limits. This battle here today, what you're going to be seeing, is a perfect example of that. This is Mega Man NG, and this is another Gen 6 Wi-Fi battle. This time I'm taking on my best friend, Abdallah, who is a part of the Abdallah Nation. This actually happened during his live stream on Saturday. I recommend you check him out, because this battle is going to be one of the most intense battles I've ever had. I start off with Electivire, he starts off with Rotom, and he goes right away for a switch because I know I'm gonna like pull off a Thunder Punch or something, and he sends in his Dusclops, and he gets a Frisk, and it turns out I've got an Expert Belt. Not that I'm complaining, because I do pull a Thunder Punch, and the Thunder Punch really didn't do much. I get a crit. That makes one. Trust me, there are a lot of crits in this battle, and you're gonna see it to believe it. I kid you not. Now, I make the switch because I'm thinking this guy may either have Will-O-Wisp or Shadow Ball or something, so I go into Blaziken, but instead this guy actually does a Pain Split. My guess, he needs to gain health back from that crit I just unleashed at him. We share the pain, but I don't think that really matters, because this battle is going to be intense. I'm going to keep saying it over and over again, trust me. He makes a switch, and I'm thinking this guy must have something to strike me back with. And he sends out an Entei. And this thing's a shiny Entei. And I'm thinking this might be the Gen 4 Entei. He unleashes its pressure, and I go for a Flare Blitz, and the Flare Blitz didn't really do much. Though, I don't know if it mattered or not, because, hey, at least I did like 1/3. And I'm thinking, he goes for an Extreme Speed, and the Extreme Speed came in fast and swift, and he took down my Blaziken in one hit. He got the lead, but this battle is just getting started. Anyway, I send in my Staraptor. My Intimidate kicks in, and it lowers his attack by 1. And he makes a switch, and that's actually a pretty smart switch, because I try to go for a Brave Bird or something. Which I do. He sends in his Dusclops, and it turns out my Staraptor has Skyplay. I go for the Brave Bird, like I said. I went for the Brave Bird, hoping that I can do at least some damage to it. And he actually did more than half. And damn, that hurt a lot. Yeah, because it had Skyplay. Normally my Staraptor would have Choice Band, but I guess not, because I gotta get that. I go for another Brave Bird, hoping that I can take down the Dusclops, and I do that. And that takes care of one threat. So we're now like 1 for 1. Trust me, my friends, this is like a true test of skill. I was literally happy that I did it. He sends in Rotom, and I have to make a switch because I don't want to get hit. I'm thinking this thing may either do Thunderbolt or Volt Switch. Mostly Rotoms would have Volt Switch. I go into Electivire, he does the Volt Switch, and the Motor Drive kicks in, raising its speed up by 1. And I need that speed boost. He makes a switch, and I think he may have made a pretty good prediction. And he sends in Lucario, and I go for a Thunder Punch, hoping to do at least some damage, and to my surprise, I do. And I get another crit. That makes 2 crits now. And he actually survived with only 1 HP left, which is funny. He pulls a Mega Evolution with Mega Lucario. And with him, he's going to go for the Bullet Punch. And the Bullet Punch did do some damage, but unfortunately, it wasn't enough. My guess, he prefers priority over anything. I go for another Thunder Punch, and Mega Lucario goes down. And I get another crit. That makes 3 crits now, and Abdallah was freaking out that he was getting a lot of crits, and he sends out Conkeldurr, and this Conkeldurr has Iron Fist. I go for a Thunder Punch, and that did some damage, but he goes for a Drain Punch, and that Drain Punch killed my Electivire, and I'm like, damn, that packed a serious punch. I mean that literally, though. And now that Electivire is down, we're at 2-2. So I send in Staraptor, and hoping that the Intimidate will lower his attack so at least I can survive. He switches, and that's actually a pretty smart prediction because he knew I was going to go for Brave Bird, and instead he sends out Rotom in Wash form. I go for a Brave Bird, hoping that I can do at least a lot of damage. I'm just praying I can at least take it down or something. And I do that, and it drains out more than half health. And hoping that one more Brave Bird could do it. But it's faster, and it goes for a Volt Switch, and that Volt Switch took down my Staraptor. My only strong offense against it. I'm like, oh my god, this is too much. Now, he makes a switch, and this is where we both really had to put our predicting to work. We both wanted to predict what the other was going to do next. So he has his, and he sends out his shiny Entei, which is exerting his pressure right now. I, on the other hand, send out my Empoleon, a Pokemon that has never let me down in Gen 4. It never has, especially in Pokemon Battle Revolution. He makes a switch and goes into Conkeldurr, and I'm thinking this guy may use like a Mach Punch or something. I go for the Hydro Pump, hoping that I can do some damage, and I get another crit. That makes 4 now. 4 crits already in this battle. I make a switch, and I go into my Rose Raid, hoping that I could do a lot of damage, and he goes for the Drain Punch, but sadly the Drain Punch did a lot of damage. It did more than half. And I'm thinking, this guy has Iron Fist. It has to be the case, trust me. So, he goes now for the Mach Punch, and the Mach Punch didn't do much. It wasn't that effective, but I go for a Sleep Powder, and the Sleep Powder connects. And I'm like, yes, now I can use the time to set up and prepare. I have to prepare hard against Abdallah, because this guy is a really good opponent. This guy actually is smart. I go for a Sludge Bomb, and the Sludge Bomb did a lot of damage. It didn't really do much, but my guess this thing is bulky. It has to be bulky. It has to withstand a Staff Sludge Bomb. I go for one more Sludge Bomb, and that Sludge Bomb pretty much took down that Conkeldurr. And I'm like, thank God. That thing would be serious trouble if I let it out in the field. And now he sends in his Rotom, and Rotom goes for a Shadow Ball. And yeah, that Rotom took down my Rose Raid. I was going to go for the Leaf Storm, hoping to do some damage, but his Rotom is faster. I send in my Alakazam, and I'm thinking, enough playing around. This is where I get serious. And I activate Mega Evolution, and I unleash my Mega Alakazam. And I'm like, this is it. I'm really bringing in the pain now. This time, the gloves come off. So I use Trace and activate Levitate. I get Levitate in the process. And I pull off a Psychic, and the Psychic takes down his Rotom. Yes, I was cheering myself on. I was like, this is the battle I've been waiting for. A true test. And now he sends in his shiny Entei. And I'm thinking, this thing is going to take me down fast with Extreme Speed. It has to be it. Extreme Speed has a lot of priority. I'm not going to let him die on my watch. So he gets the switch. I get the switch, and I go into my Empoleon, and my prediction paid off. He went for the Extreme Speed. And Extreme Speed didn't really do that much damage, but at least it's enough. And I'm wondering to myself, hopefully a Hydro Pump can take it down. I'm hoping that it does. But this guy actually switched, and he had one other Pokemon I didn't see coming. He sends out a Shaman. And it's not just any Shaman, but a shiny Shaman. I go for the Hydro Pump, but the Hydro Pump didn't do much damage. And I'm like, I'm in deep trouble now. I really mean it. I really am in deep trouble, because this thing got Seed Flare, and that could really screw me over. I really mean that. And I didn't want to switch either for risk that I would end up losing Alakazam in the process. I don't want that. He goes for a Seed Flare, and the animation for Seed Flare is just amazing. It did a lot of damage, but unfortunately it wasn't enough. And I'm like, thank you. It actually survives. I go for the Ice Beam, and the Ice Beam did a lot of damage. And I'm like, yes, now I can actually strike back against it. I'm just only hoping he doesn't do another Seed Flare that can screw me over. Because if he did do a Seed Flare that hit my Empoleon, I'd be screwed. And not to mention, my special defense drop went down by 2 levels. He goes for the Seed Flare, and I miss. And I'm like, yes! I go for one more Ice Beam, and that Ice Beam takes down his Shaman. Now it's 2-1. This is where the battle literally gets intense. It was an intense battle. I'm going to keep saying it over and over. It's one of the best Wi-Fi battles I have ever had. He already had it recorded on live stream, so you can see it for yourselves. So he sends out his Entei, and I'm thinking this thing may use Extreme Speed or Flare Blitz. To my surprise, he actually uses Flare Blitz, and I'm thinking this guy must have his Empoleon banded. It has to be the case. And he gets a crit, and I'm already counting how many crits we've had in this battle. We already had like 5 crits, and now it's one-on-one now. The battle was coming right down to the wire, and since this thing is banded, I may have a chance. However, if it didn't, then I would be in serious trouble, trust me. So I go for the Psychic Attack, and that's it. This battle was over, and I won. I took down his Entei. I was literally letting out a major sigh of relief that it was finally over. I'm like, thank you. This was just a true test of battle. It was a true test. It was like chess. I'm not kidding. This whole battle was like chess. I really loved it a lot. Thank you so much, Abdallah, for having me on your live stream, for having this battle, and for giving me the chance to put this battle up. I hope you all enjoyed it. Make sure you check out Abdallah's channel. His channel, he does Nintendo Let's Plays. He's a really good guy. He live streams, and it's just too much. I could just say so many nice things about him that it's crazy. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. It does mean a lot to me, to Abdallah, and to everyone here who watches these Wi-Fi battles. Alright, take care, guys.